So this Iran thing, it's wrapping up. At least that's according to the bedtime story that Trump keeps posting to his Truth Social on his 80th birthday. He declared the deal complete. We won. We really lost. He's ordered the Strait of Hormuz opened, which was already open. And he wrote, "Ships of the world, start your engines, let the oil flow." He took a bow on the White House lawn between rounds of the UFC fight. And then he immediately collided with the one problem that Donald Trump has never once solved: his own boredom. Because a man like Donald Trump cannot exist without a conquest. An idle dictator is a dangerous dictator. And this one, Donald Trump hunts a new shiny object the way a barracuda hunts a flashlight. And right now, folks, Donald Trump spun the globe and saw that big icy land on the northern part. Yep, we are back to doing the stupid Greenland thing again. And before you laugh this off, the New Yorker's Ben Taub just laid this whole thing out. And while it is ludicrous, it is deadly serious at the same time. Ludicrous because we're talking about annexing a giant frozen island that already belongs to Denmark, that's filled with people who have said in public on camera that they would rather not be adopted by a spray-tanned empire baby. And it is deadly serious because a whole crew of Trump loyalists have been lusting over this piece of icy rock for years. Even after, in the last year, most Americans have said absolutely the hell not. So last year, while the grown-ups were busy, the delicate job of convincing a sovereign people to surrender their country to Donald Trump fell to a man named Chris Cox. Chris Cox, his experience, he's the founder of Bikers for Trump. He showed up to help overturn that 2020 election, and then he decided that his next calling was geopolitical Casanova. He flew to Greenland and went on foreign television to explain that the locals there are, quote, living in the Stone Age. That's his sales pitch. Hi, we'd love to own you. Also, you're simple cavemen. Of course, Greenland responded by putting on hats that read, "Make America Go Away," which in fairness is fantastic branding. And while that is funny, Trump's little adventure does stop eventually being a clown show. Because the guy he's actually appointed as a special envoy to Greenland is Jeff Landry, the governor of Louisiana. Why? This man has zero connection to the Arctic. He's gotten protested in the streets in Greenland, and he has announced that it was time for America to, quote, put its footprint back on Greenland. Why? Why Louisiana's governor? Funny you should ask. Greenland is sitting on some of the largest rare earth deposits on the planet. The metals that are inside every missile guidance system and every electric car motor, all of that can come from Greenland. A New York outfit called Critical Metals Corp just grabbed one of the biggest contracts and then collected $120 million commitment from the United States government banks, and they are the first overseas mining loan that bank has ever made. And of course, that company, they're tangled up with Trump's own Commerce Secretary, Jeffrey Epstein's best friend, Howard Lutnick, who Congress has already flagged for conflicts of interest. Whoops. And those rare earths, those minerals are slated to ship to a refinery in, you guessed it, Louisiana, whose governor Trump then handed the Greenland job to. So then you throw in people like Jeff Bezos, Sam Altman, Bill Gates, and the billionaire literally credited with planting the Greenland idea in Trump's skull, all circling the same patch of ice. They say it's for national security, and that's just a gift wrapping. These rare earth minerals and the friends that are lined up to cash in on it, that is what's actually inside the gift box. And our allies, they see through every bit of it. A New Yorker piece about this has a sitting United States Senator Lindsey Graham walking into a closed-door meeting with the leaders of Denmark and Greenland, calling the Prime Minister of Denmark little lady, and then yawned in the Premier's face. A Danish politician said on the record that he would rather go to war with the United States than hand the island over. Go to war with us. That is a NATO ally. That is telling you what our relationship looks like globally. And you've seen these fantasy posts, the fantasy versions, the AI posts that he put out there on Truth Social, him jamming the American flag into the ice next to a sign that reads, Greenland, U.S. territory, established 2026. Sure, that's the brochure. But it is time for a reality check, Donald Trump. And right after this birthday war and your birthday cage match, that fat orange alleged dementia patient took a red eye to the G7 summit in France, and he heard what these people thought about him. He walked into a room full of leaders who can't stand him, and he brought up Greenland anyway. And we do know how that landed with everybody because someone left a microphone on. A hot mic caught Macron leaning over to Zelensky to sum up the meeting with Trump in one word. Quote, difficult.
Yesterday we had a good discussion Yes, but
that is the most diplomatic word in the French language, difficult. And it is carrying far more weight than it ever has in its entire life. Donald Trump is a little bit more than difficult. And Donald Trump's appetite will never shut off. We had the Panama Canal, Canada as the 51st state. That was dusted off again this month. He said that out loud again. Now it's Greenland. Next, it'll be Cuba because Lindsey Graham wants it. It could next be the moon or your cousin's above-ground pool. Because Donald Trump's hunger is never about a single place. It's about needing a new thing to slap his name on before the last conquest gets boring and he fades into oblivion forever. A normal president would end a war and then cultivate peace. But not this guy. This guy is what America First has curdled into. This 80-year-old man who finished a war and then immediately started eyeing the next chunk of rock on the map like a toddler who cleared his plate and is now reaching for yours. Donnie want more nuggy. Greenland doesn't want him. Denmark doesn't want him. Hell, we don't want him. And his own allies in Europe got caught on a live mic calling meeting with him difficult. Do me a favor, subscribe. It's really easy. It's not difficult. But I want you to subscribe because this only will get dumber from here. And trust me, we are all going to want to witness it.